As you look back at your time on the show so far, what do you feel your defining performance has been?
Oh, such a good question.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like for me personally, I'd say probably knockouts. I mean, if not this one, but knockouts was a moment where I made a lot of creative choices in the song, and it was by an artist that a lot of people cover. So it was like, how do I make the song true to the artist, different from everyone else who's done it, and make it me? So that was a challenge, and I feel like I was very successful in making it my own. And it really showed a rock side of me. It was kind of right after I did like this acoustic song, and I did like this reggae song, and then yeah, that one I think was when really Renzo really showed up on the show.
I would say probably my playoffs performance. POV was a song that I had already like loved and had understood and like kind of had an idea of what I wanted it to be in my head. And through working with John just really urged me to make it Bryson as opposed to trying to do what Ari would do. And I think that encompassing of taking something that you genuinely love and something that you feel really aligns with yourself and doing whatever it is that makes it, that puts your stamp on it. I think that is why I would identify that as my defining performance.
Mm. For me, it was probably the last round as well with the Billie Eilish song, What Was I Made For? That one was a bigger challenge for me. It wasn't something necessarily in my, I mean, I want to say it's not so obviously in my wheelhouse, that one. And that being said, it really challenged me to be very vulnerable. And it was something that I got a lot of feedback on after the performance from people who felt something. And that's when I realized that um, that performance for me was a defining moment. The more raw you are, the more that you get through to people. And that can be very, it can put you in a vulnerable position, but the more you share your heart authentically, um, the more giving you are as a performer. And that's a good lesson for me.
Dang, that's a good that's a
Great
good question.
question.
I
I
would say, oh, sorry.
Jaden, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I would say mine was definitely the playoffs. I think my 99 Red Balloons was definitely in my comfort zone. I think it kind of just like sealed my kind of artistry a little bit, and I think that was probably the best representation of it so far. And yeah, that was my favorite.
You want to go first?
Oh, sure. Second. But
Second.
no. I would say probably this one only because previous songs that I've done, like I wasn't 100% familiar with them. Like I had to like learn the words to them versus this one was a little bit more comfortable for me to sing because it was a song that just knew. So I would say this one just because of that, the comfortability of the song itself.
Yeah. I feel like I would say um my I don't even remember all the stages names. Um the last three, right? So this one and the last two, I feel like um I love that Alan Stone song that I did. I am such a huge fan, and that felt like completely in my wheelhouse. And then that
Mm.
next song that I got, the Bob Dylan song, I didn't even know that song, and it like was a process for me to like get it in my body. And once I got it, it felt so good. And watching it back, like really like opened my eyes to kind of a new thing. And this one kind of felt the same way. This one was like, although it was blues, which is my roots, like it took me a second to really feel what it was supposed to be, right? Because for me, songs are alive, and I wasn't trying to do what Sam Cooke did. I was trying to breathe something new into it, and that takes time, and it feels uncomfortable sometimes, that process to find it. And I haven't watched what I did today. I have no idea what I did today, but I can tell you what it felt like for me. It felt amazing. It felt like me. So I hope I feel that way watching it back.
I know, right?
I think that my defining performance in this whole situation was my playoff performance. I think my personal favorite was my knockout performance. I loved Jolene. I was very vulnerable, very crying. But I think the moment that really took a shift for me and kind of what like really was like, okay, no, like I belong here was my playoff performance. You know, I was not going down without a fight. And like I said, I'm one of the youngest ones here. So for me, like I don't have as much experience under my belt as some of these artists. And so trying to keep in the headspace of like, I'm worthy enough to be here. I'm talented enough to be here. I think in my playoff, I just like let all that go and was like, you know what? We're just going to have fun. We're going to let loose. We're going to just rock it out. And I think that was like a major turning point in my season of like, oh, okay. Like, no, she's really capable of doing this. Like, it doesn't matter if she's young or different or, you know, so for me, that was, I think, my turning point in my little voice career.
And I have to agree. My defining point on the show is definitely my playoff performance. That was the moment where I realized I could trust myself. I'm a great singer. I'm a great performer. I do belong here. And I'm only going to get better and I'm only going to go further. So, yeah, by far, throughout this whole beautiful journey, my defining moment was my playoff performance.
I think a big pitfall of mine is being a massive overthinker. So, you know, my prior performances, I had a tendency to kind of black out and just sing and not really take the time to soak it in and be there, be present and experience it. And I think tonight, you know, I let everything go, you know. I mean, thinking about it from the perspective that we wouldn't be here if we weren't good enough to be here. And I mean, each and every one of the top 12 artists that we have is nothing short of phenomenal. So it's very humbling and it's a massive blessing to be able to share the room with such talent. And then, you know, to go out there tonight and give an emotional performance that I was actually present for and I actually remember. And you know, I interacted with the crowd. That was a big thing for me, a big step out of my comfort zone. And I think that was a thing that kind of makes me realize, okay, maybe this is something you're meant to do, you know.
Yes.
So it was a very humbling moment.